Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is the Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, the 25th of November, 2023, and we have with us our very special, we're getting to know him better and better, guest, Will Mitchell. I will.
Good morning. Happy to
I
be
was going
here.
to throw something in there to see if I can throw you off a little. So it's nice to have you back. And we have with us in the room, we have Jennifer, Mary, Kat, Ian, iPad person. I'm not sure who that is. Selesh, and that might be Mike. Is that right? Or who is that? And then Selesh and Wendy. So we'll start with some announcements, and then we'll go into blessings, and then we'll get started. So, and welcome to everyone in YouTube. So, Will, you're going to do the announcements. Angie's with us. She's just on a different sitting location, but she's with us.
She is sending and receiving energy.
Great, perfect.
So you are all welcome to our gathering, August in 2024. It's about oneness. We're on Canandaigua Lake in Ononda Park. There are cabins. There's everything's all included. The food, the lodging. All you need to do is show up and make friends. Email classes@hucolo.org and Angie will get back to you. And we're accepting payment plans. Would love to see you there. It's going to an amazing gathering about oneness, coming together, sharing each other's energy. Simply going to be an amazing event. Would love to see you there. You are muted, Krishna Priya.
I was saying perfect, and I'm excited to be there. I think it's going to be really fun, and to get to meet everybody face to face. I've met some people from Human Colony face to face, like Max, but never Jim. Can you imagine? I've been doing this for 10 years and never met Jim face to face.
Exactly.
Are you?
Jim's an amazing soul. And from the first moment that I put my eyes on him, I'm walking down the hallway and I said, I don't know what it is about this guy, but I need to hug him. This is like 100 feet away.
Wow. You know, the first time I encountered Jim was on Rob Gauthier's radio show, and he was channeling Takur. And I don't know, Takur's voice has changed over time, but Takur used to be like a hello, really low voice, and real gravelly. And I remember listening, and I remember my mom was even listening with me, and we were like, who is this? This guy is amazing. I mean, I was just, and so I had my own radio show at the time, and I contacted him, and I was like, you have to be on my radio show. Yeah, that's how I first met him. So, yeah, never a dull moment. It's been beautiful. So, okay, perfect. So we will have the gathering in August. What is the date again? August what?
August 8th through August 12th. So we're in the Lion's Gate.
Yeah, perfect. Well, that's where you shine, Will. You love that 8-8.
I'm pretty dim other days.
You like the 8-8, 10-10s, and the 11-11s, 12-12s. You're there for all the gates. If there's a gate, will be at it.
Every now is a gate to the new now.
There you go. Perfect. All right. So we will do some blessings, and then we'll take some. Well, I don't know. Do you want requests, or do you just want to go into the channeling? How do you want to do this today?
We can do requests. Shushi is the Timelord is going to channel first. Maybe somebody will come in afterwards and do some non-Timelord channeling about what Shushi was talking about.
Right.
Because it's all relevant. They're all talking about between now and the winter solstice on December 21st.
Right. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we'll do the blessings. We've got Wendy and then Jennifer. So go ahead, Wendy. And will you interpret, Will, or no?
I will.
Yes? Okay, great.
All right. Thank you. Wonderful. Blessings, everyone. Turun yarakahi tu uir pahamna hakata. Shishijuarama kai tuhiana maka itiniarata. Jukutkuiri ma nyata tuhuirapa. Akirutu Inyamahaya noroto. Akahi tetutu yanamara. Shkrenya tapakatwara. Akashwa. Nye nurutuya. Blessings.
We are here to assist you and to guide you to bring forth your essence, your brilliance, your stepping into the new energies. The earth is on the precipice of greatness at this point. For you to shine, for you to come forward, for you to step into your own light and share your light. This is the essence of what is to come.
Beautiful. Okay, Jennifer.
Honda kanatate wa tichiki ha kohono hoto wa na ha teke ha shino hotoho kono wo tana haka he na tichi chi ho shoko ho wa hanate. Namaste.
As you walk on this earth, as you walk with her, as she transforms, you transform. Give gratitude, give thanks to this divine mother of this planet. Treat her well. Walk with her. Walk with spirit. Walk with her spirit. Allow her and the blessings from the earth to come forth.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, let me spotlight you now.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
I saw the entity who you were speaking. I know her well. She is simply amazing. She's just this grandmother energy. She's amazing.
Awesome. It felt good.
Is it like an Indian or a Native American kind of tribal?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the
Absolutely.
sound was very much like that. And so was Wendy's, which was interesting. They were both very deep, rich sounding languages. So, okay, let me spotlight you. Here we go. Ready for your close up?
I'm sorry, I was already in.
It's okay. All right. So I just said ready for your close up, and then you should have popped onto the screen for everybody. So that was more about, not about really about you. You didn't have to do anything. Just be there. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to channel first Shushi, and then
Shushi.
Say it again.
Shushi.
Shushi. See, I want to say sushi. Now that I have sushi in my head.
Well, hopefully he will provide some nourishment
and I
for us to
became
eat.
really good friends. I would probably call him Sush. So
Sush. Yeah, sure.
Sush. Hey, Sush.
Shush.
Shush. Perfect. All right. So we will see.
This is our life. It's a life full of joy.
It is a good full. It is. I feel joyful already. Okay, so we will let you go, and when it's time for questions, let me know. And people who want to ask a question, I'll turn over to the YouTube chat, but also in the room, just put I have a question or a Q in the chat, and we will call on you. Okay, whenever you're ready, Will.
Okay, so my process of channeling is raise my vibration. I use light language to raise my vibration, to reach up into and tug on one of the threads of consciousness, the Shushi. And when I reach up, that allows me to connect better to this consciousness and allow them to speak through me. I get myself out of the way. So I invite and allow the holy fire to flow in, through, and around us all in every way and everywhere and everywhen. And I set aside my ego and my personal energy so that I may be a clear channel. Hata arhaki ashaaka hisa anata karahiasa eturuta. Greetings. I am Shushi, a Time Lord as you might know it. There is a great convergence of energy and of timelines. It is happening every moment, but upon the earth, these energies are coming together. There are some of you that are already on this convergent timeline, inviting the energies inwards, and there's others that are still on those other offshoot timelines, still doing work, still exploring, still needing to experience the benefit of that timeline. Take a moment to assess where you are. Do you feel you are on this convergent timeline? Or do you feel you're doing work on this offshoot timeline? Both are valid. Do not judge where you are. Feel where you are. If you are on the new timeline, on this convergent timeline, shine your joy, shine your essence. Be the light, be this joyous invitation for the other timelines to converge when they are ready. They shall converge, and the other timelines shall simply dwindle off. And if you're on one of the other timelines, you will not dwindle off. Do not worry about that. Focus on your experience on this timeline, on your timeline. Take a moment. What is it that you still need to experience to be more fully in your heart? Because this convergence is the fulfilling of the energies, the heart energies on planet Earth, taking it to the new Earth. This completion of the energies that is happening for your winter solstice is the completion of the heart, the fulfilling of the heart, your joyous heart. For those who are still experiencing frustration, fear, doubt, guilt, shame, it is okay. It is okay. You will be brought with others' joy and others' inspiration while you still work on those items that need to be worked on. There is an opportunity to release this. There are always opportunities to release this. This full moon coming up for you on planet Earth is one of the strongest energies of release this year. And it's a perfect time to release before the convergence on this winter solstice. Take a moment, no matter which timeline you are on. Take a moment to be thankful for any of the small things that are in your life, any of the joys that happen for you, that bring out your joy. Doesn't matter what it is. If you don't have a gratitude practice yet, maybe start one. And it could be as simple as a gratitude stone. Just simply something that you look at or that you feel if you keep it in your purse or if you keep it in your pocket. Just a reminder to find something to be thankful for in that moment. Whether you see it, whether you feel it, just a gentle reminder to get back into the heart space, to get back into the gratitude, no matter where we are. This helps clear the vision, helps clear the heart space, helps to step forward from the heart according to your joy, according to your soul mission, according to the collective consciousness. That's all these timelines are, is a focus of a collective, a community, a group of individuals. They're exploring common themes. And these common themes will run their course and come to completion naturally. So there's no real work to do. The gratitude itself, the allowing the heart mind to become more fully present in awareness is the important aspect of it. Simply by relaxing and you being you. The convergence of these timelines are happening into the joy of you, the joy of who you are. The tilting point has happened long ago. Over 10 years ago on the winter solstice, this tilting point, the grand awakening, and then more consciousness of convergence of the heart space has started to develop. This wave of joy, this wave of benevolence is so contagious. This positivity that is who you are. This positivity is washing over everything. These waves of positivity, they're radiating out from you. They're radiating out from the collective consciousness. And they're all converging again to explore new things, new themes of awakening of aspects of individuals that they did not think exist or did not think possible. They heard about them in stories, but these are the things that are coming. These are already here, but they will only grow and enhance. These individual perceptions and powers are coming as we ready ourselves, as we think in the heart space, as we act from the heart space. These are the ripples these are the waves of consciousness that these timelines are projecting. Is there a question?
Yes, there's several questions. Let me start with Michael. Michael has the first question. Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, my twin flame, Amanda, that is a Palladian. I was wanting to see if she had any messages for me.
There is a time for convergence of twin flame energies, especially from the Pleiades. This is the time to connect. I can give you messages. There are others that are around that can give better answers for that. According to the timelines, I would like to continue the discussion of timelines before going into individual messages. Is that okay? The energies of the Pleiades are here. The moon is aligned and the sun, they're aligned for the energies of the Pleiades. This Palladian energy, this Palladian joy, this ascending through the ideas of the Pleiades. These are the energies that are coming forth. As you reach out your heart to your twin flame from the Pleiades, reach out totally accepting. Allow your essence to reach out and allow your essence to feel your twin. Does that make sense?
Yes.
A joyous invitation, eagerness, in awe of this cohesive energy that the both of you are. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And as these timelines converge, yes, you are doing it right now. It is this energy of that timeline of when it will happen. Keep drawing that timeline to you through the joy and the invitation of that timeline, eagerly, joyously. maybe even sing and walk along.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Blessings.
Blessings.
Okay, thank you. Let me see. Mary has a question. One second, let Michael get over there to help her.
Yes, I would like to ask about my realm. I have heard that I am from the angelic realm. I would like to hear a word from you on my soul, my being, as connection to the angelic realm, please.
There are angels here waiting to answer those types of questions. The ideas of the angelic realm and the timelines and the thought patterns of the angelic realm. Might I ask you, when you think of the angelic realm, of your home in the angelic realm, what are the thoughts and feelings that you have about it?
I totally feel that I am angelic. My soul, absolutely. I feel a connection.
But besides that, you feel this connection, how does it make your heart sing to feel this angelic realm? Does your heart reach out to that realm? And how does it feel when your heart and mind reach out to this realm?
I feel totally complete. Completeness is the word that I would use. Total completeness.
Excellent. This total completeness, notice how it's filling up your heart right now. Feel how it's filling up your heart. This is the same energy of the twin flame. This is the same energy. For those of you who feel the angelic realms, who feel this total acceptance, this is the energy of convergence. I urge you to feel this angelic love beaming out from your heart. Feel this angelic love sending out the invitation to the collective consciousness, sending it out to the other timelines to come forth into this completeness that you feel in your heart. Just shine out this completeness. That is enough of an invitation. Everyone on the other timelines, everyone who is not feeling this completeness, will be attracted to the completeness that you are shining out. This is exactly what the angels do. They shine out the completeness and the fulfillment of God. This unconditional love. This love that fills up the individual, that fills up the collective, that fills up the souls of humanity and fills up the souls of all of consciousness on all the timelines. This is the energy of convergence. This is the energy of non-judgment. This is the energy of peace. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Blessings.
Blessings.
Thank you. Wendy has a question for you.
Hello, Shushi.
So again,
thank you. The question that I have is, I know that I go and have been going to clear up old timelines And and then I'm in the midst of a bronchial clearing, shall we say. So I'm toward the end of this infection, and there's been a lot of, coughing going on. But also, I'm currently in the middle of a class where I'm currently like working on myself to assist with getting more, better connected, so to say. But with this, the last two, so during this bronchial episode, the last 2 to 3 days, I literally have felt like I've been sitting in a quantum, ready to pass out, kind of buzzy filled. And I just kept thinking that I'm integrating and there's some kind of energies. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it since I just was my energy was under the weather. So I guess my question is related to that and what that work is.
Illness is dis-ease. You are doing great work on all the timelines, and many of the timelines where you are doing work, you have great passion on each of the timelines. With this passion, let us say that it is a double-edged sword, this great passion for clearing of the timelines. With this great passion of clearing the timelines, one tends to get attached to that timeline. One tends to get attached to what is being cleared on those timelines. And as a part of a thought pattern that can happen through attachment is that the individual feels that they need to do the work of the other individuals, thus taking on that energy, thus clearing that energy. For Time Lords, these are some of the symptoms of taking on too much of the work of that timeline, not fully respecting the work of each of the individuals on that timeline. The need to clear versus the clearing from joy and love, which is simply a reminder that they are clearing it already. By taking on the energies of that timeline, of the various timelines, because the scan of your energetic field, that it's the residual essence of those energies that you have been clearing. Instead of calling on your innate energy, instead of calling on the creator being that you are, instead, the angelic realm, the angelic love that you are. By using that tool, we'll clear the energies on the other timelines. We'll clear the energies that have accumulated inside of you, that you joyously received from them. But now it is your job to clear it from you by clearing it with this angelic love, with the love of God, with the mindset of the creator being of who you are, of the mindset of the Time Lord of who you are. You can easily clear these. Since you are in a class that is working on yourself, addressing, looking at, paying attention to the aspects of you that your conscious mind and possibly some intuition feel needs more alignment, which is okay. Your angelic self sees nothing wrong with you, sees nothing that needs to be fixed. When you align with that viewpoint, this dis-ease will go away. These ideas of fault that need fixing inside of you, that need aligning, will go away. Because when you attach, when you embody your angelic self, there is no room for this dis-ease, this unconditional love, this love of God is radiating through all of your cells. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And
You
the other
sound
thing that I
disappointed.
no, it's just my physical body is kind of in a shift. So that's just um my
That was a simple way of saying it.
yeah, it was. I think the intonation that you're hearing is more of the relaxation into the peace of it. But
Yes,
versus disappointment. Yes.
it shall clear.
But what I was working with was some of the seed of life, kind of in a tic-tac-toe that a friend shared, and working to put different lights and energies into that, and then bringing that into different areas of the body that I can use within my healing modalities. So I just started working on that this morning. But I sound and feel so much better than I have in the past 5 days.
Excellent.
So yeah, so it's transitioning through, and my realization, I think, to not trying to hold on and fix everything and everybody, which is what we tend to do when we're in the angelic realm. So service, 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 So being
Yes.
more in the love mode, and I think working on just enjoying where I am and enjoying the now.
You have answered your own question.
Blessings. Thank you, Shushi.
Okay, thank you. Let me see. Salesh has a question, and I'm going to ask it for him because he has guests, but he is listening. He says, "Greetings, Shushi." He wrote sushi just like me. I have a Yael twin flame, and I would welcome any messages that she may have. I would also like to know how to best connect with her.
With the same advice, I am a Time Lord. So my focus is time, continuity of time, how timelines happen. So this is the viewpoint from which all information come. We have someone here who can talk about twin flames. To talk, I would feel, best for humans. So maybe this question, Salesh, will put it on the queue for this other being. The same response to Michael, the same response of everything here is from the heart to reach out. You have the ability to influence the timeline. You have the ability to influence the convergence. Your twin flame is working on their end to converge as well. Connect heart space to heart space. Feel the joy of the connection. Feel the joy of the merging of these timelines, the confluence of these timelines in its divine timing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Michael, he did say yes, yes. Did you wish to continue on this, or was that the complete answer?
It is as complete as I can give.
Perfect. Thank you. Michael has another question. Go ahead, Michael. Oh, he's stepped away from his chair. I can see. Oh, he's coming back. Michael?
I'm here. Sorry. Yes. If there's any healing that you can give to me to my hip, my left hip, or any advice, anything. Thank you.
For all of you who are experiencing pain or discomfort at this time, take your right hand and place it on this area of dis-ease. Focus your mind on this. Breathe into your hip, Michael, or anyone else, this body part. Breathe into it. Envision the energies going in. Envision the healthiness going in, filling it up. This is drawing to you this timeline where it is fully healed. Breathe into it. Allow what needs to leave to leave. Allow the natural well-being to be filled into your area. Continue breathing. Breathing in the healing and breathing out the releasing. Allow the various healing timelines and energies to come through, including angelic. Feel the energy of healing. Feel the energy of well-being. Allow this energy to grow in you, whether it commences from the heart, whether it commences from the hand. Feel the energy flowing through you. This energy is coming from the infinite source. It cannot be depleted. Continue with this energy.
And may I ask, since this is my healing hand, my Reiki hand, can I use my left hand doing this, or does it have to be the right?
The right is simply more associated with intention. Both of your hands have healing energy in it. There's not one part of you, if you are attuned to Reiki, there is not one part of you that cannot channel this Reiki energy. It is simply a limiting belief that your left hand is more powerful than your right hand. You can use one finger, your little finger even. You can send Reiki with your eyes. You can send Reiki with your thought. Set your intention to send the Reiki energy, the healing energy, the angelic energy, whichever energy you choose to use, maybe all of them. Set your intention. This energy is benevolent energy. It does not require your hand at all. There is no ritual that will enhance this Reiki energy. As soon as you start thinking to send this Reiki energy, it is going to its destination. Your guides are not sitting there tapping their foot, waiting for you to complete all the symbols, waiting for you to say all the words. They are not waiting. You started the thought process. It is flowing. This is the same with your angels. They are not waiting for you to draw the angelic symbol. They are not waiting for you to call all the names that you think you need to call. It's the same as calling on God. There is no prayer. The prayer is simply a focus. The prayer is simply a continuance of a vibration, the vibration of God, helping you to stay and continue this vibration. All vibration is like this. Time is like this. This is how these timelines are converging, because similar thought patterns are continued. These ideas of healing, these ideas of love. Love is the best healer. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Shushi. Blessings.
Mary has another question. Go ahead, Mary.
I wanted to ask a question, if it's appropriate, about a family member, and how you would give me a word on this family member, please, with your intuition.
Focus on peace. Focus on harmony. Focus on love. Focus. Focus is the word that I, Shushi, a Time Lord, would encourage you. Continue thoughts of blessings, thoughts of love, thoughts of abundance, directed to anyone, directed to all. I see the energies that are going in your mind. These are energies of your mind. These are not energies of your heart. You understand? They're not the energies of peace.
I think
That's the vibration right there.
better.
Know that they have incarnated for their own purpose, that you may not understand, to explore what that their soul wished to explore. This is the respect of the other individual and what they are exploring. By focusing on love, the love that's inside of you and the love that you know is inside of them. That is any reminder. If we see somebody who's experiencing distress or joy, still love is always the answer, no matter the question. It's the same answer from your angelic realm. It's always the same answer. Convergence of love.
Yes.
I see you understand.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Blessings.
Blessings.
Okay, Joan has a question and I have to ask for her. She says, this is a good question. What is the timeline if we are in the moments? And why do we need to clear our timeline if we can go to the highest timeline? Or does the highest timeline need clearing too? Good question.
There are so many, I enjoy this question. There are so many ways to answer this question. True, there are no timelines in the highest awareness. There is only the present moment. There is only existence in the highest realm, in the God self. If we talk consciousness, if we talk thought, when we're fully in the moment, in the now, because everything is now anyway, whether we see it as a timeline or not. If it's on a timeline, if you view it as a timeline, there is then alignment or purification or clearing that can happen because it is a separation from source. But in the highest realms of consciousness, there is no need to clear it. Because in the highest realms of consciousness, there is this inherent respect for the individual experience, for the individual thought patterns. There is no judgment in the highest realms. And this thought of clearing something there is not that of the highest realm of consciousness. So it is a lower consciousness thought form, you might say. When we view timelines, the clearing of timelines is in its most simple form, seeing the various vibrations of the timeline, holding the vibration of love, of peace, of joy on the timeline, which simply attracts all the other vibrations to it. Convergence through love. The idea of fixing a timeline, the idea of healing is a part of this duality. This is a part of this yin and yang that humans most richly experience. The need to fix, the thought of fixing only attracts more duality. The true liberation is not liberation. Because the idea of liberation, of freedom, means you bring along its opposite. You bring along the bondage and the idea of bondage with it. This idea of needing to fix it brings along something that needs to be fixed. If you want to fix things, you will find broken things. This is the law of attraction. Guaranteed that you will be 100% successful. If you focus on liberation, you will continually attract things to be free from. Hopefully this makes sense. The ideas of love, the ideas of acceptance, the idea of compassion, the idea of respect, the idea of peace. There are no opposites to that. There is no duality. There is no polarity to any of it. These are the vibrations that cause alignment, attract alignment. They attract joy. They attract compassion. They attract kindness. They attract harmony. They do not attract dis-ease. They do not attract contrast. They do not attract the opposite. Hopefully that makes sense.
I believe it does, and I'll just give Joan a second to respond, but I believe it makes perfect sense. Okay, I'm going to move on. Oh, yes, she says yes. Thank you very much. Okay, Wendy has a question. Go ahead, Wendy.
Yes. So the question I have regarding the convergence is, I have noticed that many people have had their relationships shift in that there is a letting go of old binds, I would say, as they're moving into the new expression of their to me it feels like their own self-confidence, their willingness and capability to stepping into their own power. But can you speak about the convergence and how it's affecting relationships within this timelines?
Yes, that is a very good question, and I appreciate our discussions. Convergence without begins with convergence within. As one starts to look at oneself and move forward along their power, their joy, their peace, their fulfillment. We talked earlier about feeling complete. This idea of attaching to the angelic realms and feeling complete is the same thing of being fulfilled. Thinking that this other person, it's a maturity of a relationship where an individual in a relationship starts to realize that their heart can nourish their soul, that they are not reaching out and demanding this fulfillment, this completeness from someone else. That is realizing one's own power. It's the power of thought. It's the power of our vibration. And by choosing it and consciously choosing it, it's the continuance. It's the focus of that vibration. Whether it's, no, I'm not going to do that, or raising the thought to higher into the heart center of love and higher into, I see that you're on your own journey. I respect that. I'm going to send love. I'm going to stand in my essence, which is just another word for power. This essence that an individual radiates. This essence is the most natural thing for an individual to radiate. When one grants oneself permission to radiate this energy without having the need to fill a void in the heart, without feeling the need to fix anything. That is the respect of oneself that is then projected outward onto the partner. Some relationships cannot survive that. Some relationships can. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Let me just make sure there's no other questions. And I'm just going to check the YouTube chat real quick. If there's any questions for you. Yes, there is a question from Kadumbury. I used to know Kadumbury. Kadumbury Ma. Okay. Hello, my name is Kadumbury. I want to know if there are any physical or mental issues that I need to seek help or advice for. I just want to say to everyone, these personal questions are very good for personal sessions, but they're not really the greatest questions for a Time Lord who is here to channel for us. So I'm going to skip that question, Kadumbury, unless Will wants to answer it or the Time Lord wants to answer it. But I do think that we need to be a little more less tell me about me and more questions of speaking to a higher consciousness. And I'm sorry to make you the example, but I just noticed no one's asking any questions relevant to a Time Lord. So I would really appreciate if some of the questions could be a little bit more relevant to the being that is being channeled. So it's up to you if you'd like to answer the question.
In a way, it is relevant to time and to timelines. Okay. Might I first suggest that if you think there is something mental going on or something physical going on, that you go seek a professional. Yes, getting channeled information can help with that, and at the basic level, everything is energetic. You know yourself well enough to know whether this is a physical thing, to know whether there is mental stability in you. You know yourself enough to make that decision. And it seems that you have already made that decision. These timelines, you are creating your own timeline with your own thought. If your continuance of thought, your ability to focus is not there, seeking a channeler, seeking an energy worker, seeking a mental health professional, seeking anyone that can help you. When you have a plumbing problem in your house, you call a plumber. When you know that you would like help on alignment, when you would like help on mental clarity, seek a professional that can help with that. Receiving information. So the question I would like to ask you, if you receive information, channeled information that says that you're totally okay, does that mean you're not going to go to a doctor to seek it out? And what happens if you do need physical help or mental help, and you take the word of this channeler because it makes you feel good right now? What are you going to do? These are the questions your consciousness, your thought, your person, if one asks oneself these questions, we know where to go. If you can't fix the plumbing problem in your house, you ask a professional to come. And you do the energy exchange, whether it's money, whether it's anything else, to co-create the fixing of your plumbing. Asking questions about mental clarity or focus is influencing the timelines that are being created by you and influenced by you. Hopefully that makes sense.
I think it does, and I'll just give her a moment to respond. But what a beautiful answer. Thank you for that. I have a question about, does it help or create more, I would say, mental blocks to think about switching timelines? Is that something we consciously can do, or is that just something that happens when we become in alignment with whatever that timeline is? And how much of that is really in our control? Like, I know that there's timelines that I've moved to, and I notice, oh gosh, this is definitely a new timeline, because there's just enough different and enough the same. I don't know that it's a new timeline or an alternate timeline, but at the same time, how much focus on that, other than the awareness that it happens, should we really have? Should it be a goal to try to change timelines? Do you know what I'm trying to get to here?
Understand 100%. And this is it's an amazing question, and I enjoy this conversation. This ability, this way to, the jumping of timelines, the understanding of I'm on a new timeline is simply a realization. Like you said, there are enough differences to notice. And everyone has this ability. And yes, I totally agree with you that too much focus on I need to jump timelines. excuse me, this human channel. The thought, too much thought on jumping a timeline is the opposite of a Time Lord. It is the curious musings of a human about timelines. And not that there's anything wrong with it. Don't judge yourself for it. But know that it is easier for you to jump timelines and influence timelines through peace, love, and joy than it is through mental focus of will based on a need. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does make sense.
And once you, as an individual, notice the timelines shifting, know that you did it. You and your heart, your supreme consciousness, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, guided you to this new awareness. And that's a simpler way to say it. It is a new awareness, and things are different, and there's a different flow of thought by the local collective consciousness. And by switching timelines, you are continuing that thought form. Does that make sense? You're continuing this awareness.
So you've changed, so your timeline changes to reflect that change that is in you, basically, is what you're saying.
That is one way. That
Okay.
that
Can you
is,
say
yeah,
another
that
way?
is, yes. That is 100% correct. But you see how the timelines aren't really timelines with that mindset. That is
Right.
a higher mindset of my reality is forming around me based on my thoughts and awareness. So the timelines are simply there at that point to give you confirmation that things have changed, when
Right.
your awareness is the thing that has changed. So the long viewpoint of a timeline is no longer there. You're more narrowly focused on several moments and the continuity of those several moments. It is simply just a different way of viewing it. You're more now focused, moment focused.
I find it very, I know I use the term timeline all the time, not all the time, same time a lot, but I can you equate timeline with your reality? Can you say my reality shifted versus a timeline?
Yes, everything that one says is valid. So let us go back to the previous example.
Okay.
In the highest thought form, in the God self, when one is just experiencing the moment, think of, I see in your mind, Shiva in meditation,
Right.
not experiencing anything. He's experiencing now, the moment. There is no time. This awareness of it at that point is just existence.
Right.
This awareness of the moment, time is just like distance. They're just ideas of your mind, of your consciousness, of your awareness to tell the difference between things. There really is no difference between time and distance. They are the same thing. They are simply a way of differentiating this from that. Time, as humans know it, is a continuity of an idea. And distance is it's over there and I'm here. It's just an idea of separation. And time is yet another idea of separation. That happened in the past. That's going to happen in the future. It's not here. It's not now. Does that make sense?
Yes. Perfect sense. Yeah.
So with those ideas of separation, which is, they're all totally valid. By allowing yourself to be you, you're new now, this wave that happens. It happens, it appears. Yes, you are causing it, but it's not I'm trying to make it happen. It's naturally happening because you are emanating that vibration. And those are the things that happen. And you see them happen, but you, with the focus on timelines, want to see the difference of the timelines. So when you jump timelines, when you shift your awareness to the new timeline, you are noticing the difference because you created those differences because you wanted the validation that you shifted your awareness.
Right. The markers, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is your reinforcement to yourself that you are being this conscious creator that you are. That is the reinforcement that you're giving yourself.
Because every time it has happened, and I'm sure it happens to everyone all the time, but there's been significant shifts at various times, not for years and years, but several years ago, I had some pretty big jumps. And each time my guide said to me, look for the differences. They wanted me to know for sure. And I found some pretty fantastic differences.
And how did you feel when you found those fantastic differences?
Well, the first one that I ever found, I was gobsmacked. My mouth fell open and I couldn't believe it. Like I had do you want me to tell you what it was?
Please.
Okay.
So this is the conversation. These are the feelings of confirmation that we create ourselves so that everyone listening can look for those feelings, can attract these feelings, can attract this awe.
Okay, so I'll give it to you in the 3-minute version. I was asleep and I had a visceral experience of being slammed down into my body. And when I awoke, I was on my stomach. And what's interesting is I was on a place on the bed that I don't normally sleep, which was sort of at the bottom of the bed, but laying vertically or horizontally across the bed, as opposed to like head to foot. I was laying like side to side, but on my stomach. And as I tried to lift my head, I felt excruciatingly nauseated. And I heard, just lay down, don't try to move. You've jumped timelines. That's what I heard. And I was like, what does that even mean? And they said, tomorrow you will see. Just look for the differences, as I said. So the next day, I was in the same home. I had the same pets. As far as I know, I looked the same. I was walking outside with my dog, which is if you're a dog owner, you do it several times a day, every day. So a lot of things happen when you do that. And I was walking my dog and I walked past a house on my street that had always been a marker for when I would turn around with my dog. At the time I lived in the Netherlands, I lived in the city and all the houses were row houses and they virtually looked the same. They were all brick. Well, one house was particularly beautiful, but it was all wood and it had just this very beautiful wood paneling as opposed to brick. And I always admired it, but that was the place I would turn around. And when I got to the house, it was all different. it wasn't wood paneled anymore. It was this garish yellow marble tile slab stuff. And I just stopped dead in my tracks because literally the day before I had walked by that house thinking, I just really love this, wood exterior of this beautiful house. It was like a cherry wood, and it was gone. It was literally gone. And I stood there and I just kept looking at it like, where did you come from? And I know I had seen it the day before. And so I kept looking at it because it was always a marker for me. And so I came back and I called at that time my spiritual teacher, a woman in Florida that I'd loved forever. And I told her what happened. She says, oh, you have to call my friend from the Monroe Institute because he'll know what to do. And I called this man and I explained what happened. And he said, the important thing for you to know is, when did it change? Where are you in the timeline versus where that house is when it changed? Because it obviously changed. And so this was in July, this happened. So it took till about August. I wasn't going to go knock on the people's door because I didn't know them, but they happened to be coming in with groceries one day. And I just happened to cross the street and I walked up and I said, oh, you've changed your home. When did you change it? I said, it's such a difference. And they said, we changed it in May. Now I saw it in July with the same exterior that I had always known. And then the next day it was different. And they are saying to me that now this is August now, they were saying to me they had changed it in May. So again, I was just like, how did I drop into this particular timeline, this place? And all it was for me, and I don't remember anything else in that timeline change that was different, but that one was so undeniably huge. And because the house had gone from this beautiful, dark, beautiful wood to this, like I said, garish thing and I said, why did you change it? And they said, well, it blended so much with all the other houses that we would drive right past our own house all the time. We wanted to have a little bit more of a distinguished look. And I said, well, you can't miss it now because all the houses were like brown and cherry. And now this thing was like yellow. Anyway, so that's what happened. That was like the first one. And I had some other ones that were also quite significant. But the times that I have known I've jumped timelines, there has been something that has been that blatant. But other than that, I don't know what the significance on a life basis was and what really shifted. Like, had I stayed on the other timeline, what would be different in my life versus what it changed to? I just know that I had differences. And the other thing is I had the realization of like, this is how people can go crazy. Because I even had the idea of when I called my friend, Caroline, my spiritual mother, was she going to know me? Was she going to know what I was talking about? Was this going to be something that was part of her life? I mean, she could have been totally different. And I had that realization of like, wow, how much is different and how much am I bringing with me that I'm going to talk about to people? It's like the Mandela effect. How much are you talking about? People are like, no, it's always been that way, So that's why my question is like, what do we really gain by shifting? And do we really know? Like, I don't know what the point is other than they gave me just this amazing example that still makes my mouth fall open.
Yes. Yes. So these are very interesting topics, and there are many ways to talk about it, to discuss about it. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I would like to bring up first is that when switching timelines, first of all, your consciousness has so much power, ability. You created these experiences for yourself, for a purpose. you created the timeline jump with this nausea, with this distress, so that you would pause, and so that your guides can come in and talk to you. You have achieved the goal of jumping timelines, and you're aware of it. Now, your guides were pay attention to the differences because you wanted more proof, more confidence that of this ability to jump timelines. So you got it. And because you knew your spiritual mother would help guide you, and this other person, you created this, you co-created it. And the answers you got were all along the lines of you getting more confident in, I notice timelines. And I notice that I'm jumping timelines. Yes, you still have the question of why? Why is it relevant? There are many ways to answer that as well, but you can answer it for yourself the best. Or you will reveal it to yourself, or your guides will reveal it to you when you need to know, is the easiest way. So for those watching and jumping timelines, you do not need to create the distress of jumping the timeline. Maybe ask the universe, ask your guides to show you in different ways to verify that you're on a new timeline. You don't have to be super specific, just let me be aware that I'm on a new timeline with joy, with awe.
Right.
But it engaged in your mental curiosity. How am I here? Why has this changed? And all of that thought pattern was of your excitement and of your curiosity, which is why you created it that way, which is why your guides helped you create it that way. Your guides are just an extension of you.
Okay, perfect.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that's true. Yes, I agree. Okay, thank you. Jillian from the YouTube chat has a question. She says, thanks for connecting today. I often time travel and leave physical objects I find later for me to know that I've time traveled, kind of like what I do, but different. Do you ever find things you physically changed in reality?
As a Time Lord, yes, that is my job. It is my job to help the convergence, to feel out in the collective consciousness of that timeline through the idea of time, to feel the energies, to feel where it wants to go, to have discussions with other Time Lords that are on other timelines about where those things are going, and helping the convergence simply by holding a vibration. Now, there are times that I will help by placing those objects in different spots so that everyone else who is jumping timelines and helping to converge, that can leave them, that can notice that these timelines are here, that they have changed. Because as an aspect, as a Time Lord on the timeline, I am also an aspect of each and every one that is on this timeline. I am connected to the collective consciousness of the timeline, and I feel what needs to be what is desired as evidence of the new timeline. And I place them there based on their vibrations, individual and collective. And some of them are simply amazing. To me, it's my job. It's my job of joy to help facilitate that. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does. And I hope for the person who's listening.
Another way of viewing a Time Lord is simply an agent of the collective consciousness, a helper to help realize through the idea of time and the continuity of time.
Okay, I understand. Okay, thank you. Bola has a question. She says, thank you. The concept of our consciousness jumping from one timeline to another to create our reality is so dynamic. What stops us jumping into a dead version's timeline? How free is it? Yeah, do we always jump forward or we jump back? I guess, is that part of the question there?
It depends where your consciousness wants to explore, is the simplest answer. There are many of you who are aware of your ability to change time, to change moments. And there are many of you who are experiencing jumping to a timeline that is at its end, and you're there at the end of it. It is not the end of you. Your consciousness can never not exist. Even if you're at the end of a timeline, your consciousness always is. It doesn't survive, it is. Whether you as a human remember or can access that experience, you will when you are ready to understand what that is. Having the idea that you can jump to a timeline that is ending means that you're close to being ready. And maybe you will understand when you decide you want to understand. That's the power of your consciousness. Many want to just continue day-to-day living, hour by hour, minute by minute, and it's totally valid. This idea of time, this idea of now, and the continuing of that idea is simply a mindset and a focus of an idea. That's all it is. Your ability to shift it is just like you can change your mind. Have you ever, in the middle of making dinner, decided you don't want this anymore and you want something else? Or in the middle of driving somewhere that you don't want to go to this place, I'm going to go to this place first. You change your mind. You can expand that to time and timelines. It's just a change of mind.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, there's another question that you're gonna like. It's from Rosangela. She says, is having a premonition the same as jumping a timeline in a future time? And what is the deja vu in this what is deja vu in this context?
There are many ways to answer this. This is a very interesting question.
Yeah.
So let's talk about premonitions first. Everything is now. Everything is here and now. Because everything is here and now, we can see the timeline. We can see the premonition. We can see this vision of what will happen. And it doesn't matter if it's on another timeline or if it's this timeline. You can attract that timeline, if it is an alternate timeline, through the idea of time. You can attract that to you. And so therefore, that premonition becomes on this timeline because you have switched timelines. You can see this premonition on this current existing timeline. And this premonition is you deciding you wanted to have a premonition because you're awakening your mental abilities. You're doing it so that you want to understand time and what can happen and how I can cause something to happen or attract it. At the beginning, a premonition is, this is just what I see. We don't understand the causation, the invitation to the universe to experience this. It is not a conscious thing at times. It just happens. I just started to see visions. Excellent. And I know that it's in the future. I see it in the future. I understand it as in the future. And how it unfolds to a newly awakening mind is different than an awakened mind and an empowered mind that understands that it can be a different timeline, and I can bring it to me. I can converge it away. I can do what my mind chooses. It is the same thing as déjà vu. A déjà vu is yet another confirmation that you are giving yourself when one is just awakening. The déjà vu is just a confirmation that things can happen over again. And then as one becomes more conscious and more conscious, these ideas come out and are more, the individual is causing it as opposed to it is happening. Does that make sense?
Mm. Yeah, it does. I'm just watching the chat to see if the person responds. It's interesting. I always had the déjà vu idea that it's you lining up with the exact moment again, if that makes sense. Like something may have happened, or it could be happening in a alternate now or a congruent timeline, and you walking sort of into it, into the happening of it, if everything is now. But what you said makes sense as well. So I don't know if it's the same.
It is the same. But you're looking at it from the viewpoint as it's happening to me.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
timelines are shifting and someone else is doing the timeline shifting, and I'm experiencing that feedback, that fluctuation or repeat of someone else doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to encourage you to see the power in you, that you are attracting this experience. If you have experienced it, you attracted it.
Right.
No one else pushed it into you. It is impossible for somebody to push that in. They can offer ideas and you can accept them. But this déjà vu, know that you created it. But when you're first waking up, it seems like it's happening to you.
Okay. All right. There's a question from Angie has a question. Go ahead, Angie.
While I was awake and at work, I was walking down a hallway. And as I was walking down the hallway, I saw myself walking in the opposite direction. Is that a convergence? I mean, and then I literally just went, I just followed I'm like, oh my God, that was just me. Is that a convergence? Is that, what is that?
There are many ways to describe that. There is that convergence of two timelines, two parallel realities, one might call it, two parallel dimensions. The merging of that for that moment was for your benefit and their benefit, which is you. Okay, it's one consciousness in two timelines. It's just two continuing thought patterns, meaning you in the other timeline were thinking one way and continuing the thought of one way, and you in this timeline who converged with that one was thinking on plan B, okay, instead of plan A. When you both saw each other, did the other one see you?
I only watched the other person walk down the hallway.
You created that experience. You wanted to understand your ability to influence time, to influence dimensions to see past the dimensions of it, whether it was you in the past on the current timeline, or whether it was another you continuing on a different timeline. It was so brief because that's all you needed to know. That's all you needed, that, oh yes, I have this ability to merge universes, merge parallel dimensions, or experience parallel dimensions. I would encourage you to, if you wish to explore this idea, to more consciously interact with it. It is totally okay to talk to yourself on another timeline when merging the experience. Okay? There is no matter, antimatter annihilation that's going to happen. You are consciousness. It is impossible for you to not exist. And even if you do create the moment where you both touch each other and you both annihilate, that's just because you chose to have that experience. You can instantaneously come back to the moment after the annihilation and you're both there. Does that make sense? In other words, don't be afraid of annihilation.
Right.
Okay. So when you experience this, you can play with it. Maybe that's a better word. Be curious about it. What are the types of things that you want to know based on what you know you were there?
I mean, the point of it is like, I was just in third dimensional thought. I was just walking, and then all of a sudden I just watched myself walk by, and I literally like, what just happened?
Yes.
Literally, what just happened?
Yes. And that what just happened was the excitement, the get out of my mindset
Right.
that you needed, you being stuck in the 3D or continuing your 3D-ness is the comfort level that you needed. You wanted to, your higher mind wanted to show you this experience.
Okay.
For a greater purpose, at a greater time, for greater exploration that you don't need to know now,
Right.
because you haven't decided yet. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
But you now know that it was real.
Right.
You know it was real.
Yeah, I was.
There was no doubt about it for you. And these are the attributes of a Time Lord. Being able to see that, know it, and understand if your sense of self still was existent, even though you saw it, your mind was blown.
Right.
But yet, I'm still me. So that confidence of you still you, now you can play because you're not going anywhere. And you know, because of who you are, that you're interacting with these other things for enjoyment, for expansion. Not for, I need these bad things to happen to me to validate myself.
Right. All right. I just was like wondering if it was a conversion of timelines or just the, that's all it was just.
And I would say, to be technical, it was more of a, you remove the barriers in between.
Got it.
To realities is the easier way to say it, because timelines were involved, but it's really just like you merge two universes together real quick.
Got it.
Just to experience that.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That was very interesting. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Roseanne, just to continue, there's another question I'll come back to, but I just want to continue. Rosangela, who was asking about deja vu and those things. She says, is losing time during the day meaning changing timelines or shifting consciousness to astro? I don't know what astro is, but to, I guess, the astral plane.
There are so many ways. Time is fluid. That's why there are so many ways to explain everything. Each individual is in charge of creating time. Each individual creates their own time. At those moments, when you say you're in the astral, you are creating less time. And losing time is your confirmation that you have gone to the astral, you have gone to a place, a thought pattern, because that's all these higher dimensions are a different thought pattern, these astral realms. The way you think when you come back, you wanted the evidence that you were in the astral, so you created a time gap, because you can return to the next moment. You can go off and spend 10,000 years off in the astral and then come back, and your consciousness will continue with the next moment on this continuing timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring it down. The creation of time, or the sense of loss of time, is your expanding and awakening consciousness, your expanding and awakening mind, your ability to see that what I normally thought of as I wake up, I eat breakfast, I drink coffee, I go to work, I come home, I eat, I go to sleep, that there's more to it than that. That's the beginnings of it. And understanding that I lost time. There are mental diseases where one is losing time and one needs to seek help. From the Time Lord's perspective, from the consciousness perspective, one chose this incarnation to experience this. Losing time is not really a concern to an awakening consciousness. It's merely an observation that you have made and a validation that you're exploring the way you wish to explore. If you come back and you're shocked, it's now 6 p.m. when it was noon just a moment ago. It was just noon. Are you in distress? Or are you in this curious awe? If you're in distress, maybe talk to somebody. Convince me I'm not crazy. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answered your question.
Yes, makes a lot of sense. Now, here's a different question with a different bent, but it's something that would be good for a Time Lord to answer. It's from Just Thinking. He says, there's a path I would be on career-wise, yet I don't feel like I should be on that path now. But I'm not sure if that's because of my fear or not. Any advice for people like me in my situation?
Yes. This is a very human issue. Nothing to be ashamed of. One can explore whether it's the fears or whether it's the joys. One meditation or any form of slowing things down can help you decide whether it's fear-based or whether it's not the right timing. If one can understand, I'm afraid of that, then excellent. We have knowledge and we can move forward based on this knowledge. What do I need to do to alleviate the fears? Or let me continue, and when those fears subside, I will continue, which is totally valid. If one knows I need to do this and I need to do it now, then it's time to get into the peace and get into the presence of being okay with it. Breathe through it. Understand that you chose it. that you're not going to change it. How can I make the best of it? How can I set my mind and focus on this path that I see is the only path? But through meditation, one can see the possibilities. One can allow these possibilities. If it's fear-based, then it comes to settling in, understanding what is the fear based in? What are the real meanings behind what this fear is masking? Can I make a list of them? Can I then address them? Can I make a plan for them? I don't have enough money to invest in this business that I wish to run. Or I don't have the degrees that would alleviate my fears of continuing along this career path. What are these things that our fear is masking so we can address them? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. There's a question. I'm gonna just yeah, I'm gonna go to another question. I think that addresses the question. So I'm going to go to Joan. I just want to make sure I don't miss the question because I think this is going to be the last question. Joan says, they said everything exists at the same time, exclamation point. What is there to be aware of if you have your realizations that time and everything is illusion?
If you're in that mindset, there is no illusion. If you're in that mindset that everything is here and now, it is simply a desire to focus. What is it that you want to be right here and right now? Since you are here and now, the playing with this moment and you knowing that this is all that is, what will enhance the value of this moment? If you can bring it to you, you fully understand the here and now, and that this is all it is. If it doesn't come to you, be easy on yourself, be at peace, find other things that make sense. Engage in the law of attraction then. Allow your normal understanding of time as a human to grow in awareness at a natural pace that you and your higher consciousness are prescribing according to you. You are the plan maker. You are making your own plan. If you understood, if you created at the 0 point because you understand everything is here and everything is now, and that thing that you saw was over there and it's now here because it's here, that is simply a shift of awareness. I see it here. It is 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 here is the mantra of now. I am it. It is here. It is simply a mindset. Does that make sense?
Joan, does that make sense for you? No response.
Might
Yes.
I suggest
Yeah. Thank you. She said yes, thank you.
Let go of the idea that everything is here and everything is now. If it is causing mental angst, let it go. Because it's not worth it at that point. Because that means that you're not ready to understand, which is okay. And you will understand when you are ready. Feeling everything here and now is a step to it. Seeing a separation, seeing it over there, there's nothing wrong with seeing it over there. It is what everybody does unless one is in that supreme consciousness. Everybody does it, which is okay. It is a part of the expansion of everything. This envision it coming to you. Okay, so the distance is there and the time difference is there. Well, bring it closer. Humans love the idea of the continuity of time. Humans love the idea of closing the distance. And all they are both arrows that are coming to you. Bring them to you. Allow that time and distance to lessen and lessen and lessen naturally without attachment to it, because the attachment is just like keeping it away. By being amazed at how it's coming to you is the attraction force bringing it to you. It is the same attraction force that we talked about at the beginning of the convergence of the timelines. Because it is here and now, and there are no timelines in the here and now, every idea of it's on a separate timeline is just another idea of separation, which is completely valid. Attracting it to you and understanding it will come to you when you are ready, that is enough. You are already complete. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It makes perfect sense. It really does. And we are almost out of time. So I want to thank you so very much for your beautiful explanations of everything from the perspective of time and how time is working and our attachment to it and our understanding and needing to navigate through it. So Joan says, I might just need to unravel myself in time. That's what she said. So I would like to ask you if you would bring Will back, and I'd like to ask Will to give us a blessing as we go out. And Angie can do the announcement, but first to thank you, Shushi, for being here with us and sharing your beautiful wisdom.
Well, he's gone, and
so
he
goodbye.
left with gratitude.
Thank you.
He heard the invitation to leave.
Vacate.
Bye.
Okay. All right. Well, then
that's interesting.
Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back. So yeah, maybe Angie can do a quick announcement, and then you can go with a blessing, and then we will see you hopefully next week. But Jim will be back channeling, and yeah.
Thank
Angelina,
you.
go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not. Yeah.
All right. Our sorry. Our gathering is scheduled for August 8th through August 12th, 2024. The price is $695. It is Thursday through Sunday. Like Will said earlier, all inclusive. If you are interested, email classes@hucolo.org and I will get information out to you. Our flyer is on our webpage, humancolony.org, and also our Facebook page. I have that, so if you want to look at the brochure, you want to see, we have pictures of the area that we are going to be in. It's a beautiful location, and it's going to be an amazing time. I can't wait to meet so many of our Hucolo family that I have known for a long time. So this part I'm very excited for.
Same here.
Yay.
I look forward to giving you a hug in real life, Krishna Priya.
Yes.
Me too. That would be awesome.
Fact.
That'll be the best. Perfect. Okay, so why don't you give us one of your super duper highly charged blessings, and we will call it a day, a night, session.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So this is Hamuel, the Archangel of Compassion. Blessings, everyone. For the twin flames in separation, and for every individual who is not aware or seeking one's twin flame. This compassion is a part of you. Let us focus on the love that is inside of you. If you feel that you need more love, more compassion, open yourself up to receive it. Allow the energy to come through. To help you be easier on yourself, more compassionate to yourself, more compassionate to others. And for the twin flames in separation, allow this compassionate, loving energy to fill you up, to flow in between you and your twin, igniting both of your hearts. Imagine them sitting next to you. Imagine the love that completes you, sitting next to you and radiating throughout you. This love is the attraction point for both of you. Have this love sustain you in your time of separation. This is the love that will bring you two together. This is the love that will open the eyes. This is the love that causes action. This is the compassionate love for yourself and for all. This is the compassion of God. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone in the YouTube chat and in our room that's been here with us this whole beautiful session. And as I said, next week, Jim will be back, and then I'll be back in the States after that. And then I think in 2 weeks we have Athena coming, or the woman who channels Athena. So that'll be really fun. Okay, so have a fantastic week, everybody. Stay safe, stay lovely. Jump some timelines. Let us know how it goes.
Jump sometime.
Jump back to where you can get back to the webinar. At least jump to one when there is a webinar, because I can't be missing people. And I'm gonna have to like go hunting down people on timelines. Get back here. All right. Is that possible?
We gotta have fun with it. We gotta have fun with it.
Get yourself back on this timeline. You got a webinar to go to. All right, everybody. Much love to you. Have a fantastic week.